somebody that's doing what you want to do. That's how you get motivated. And listen to their story, because everybody has a story to tell.
Yep.
Everybody. And if that story don't motivate you, then something's wrong. You need to reevaluate, is this really what I want to do? Do you need to find somebody else on what you really want to do? That's how you do that.
And I just want to echo what Brother Tyrone said. For me, I read books.
Mm-hmm.
That also goes back to the old saying that surround you, and I've learned this in my course last term, that surround yourself with, be friends with somebody who serves the same goal or destiny or career as you. Like, if you know you want to be an engineer, be around people that's engineer. Read about people that experience or the things that they went through, the steps they took before they became an engineer and things like that. Like for me, mine is politics. So my thing is, I like doing public speaking or be in tune with the community. I will surround myself with people that's already in a position that's higher than me, so I can learn the things, the steps that they took, and learn plus even more.
Right.
So it's like for me being motivated, like Oprah Winfrey. I want to talk about her. So I want to learn the different areas that she went through as a woman, because that's gonna motivate me more and make me more passionate about it. Because she's a woman.
Right.
She was looked down upon. So I want to be able to, hey, like she can do it, then I can do it as well.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Powerful. All right, we're going to continue on. We're going to get ready to close out in a few minutes. We want to touch on 3 more things, I think, before we can end the broadcast. To talk about, because we talk about the equality of women, and I think it's very, very important. We did talk about that, and how we define ourselves as being masculine as men. And we have to do 3 things. We're going to talk about these very, very briefly. The first thing, we got to explore the ways that the man box impacts you in your life. As men, and you men that are out there that are listening to this, or women that have been in their life, we're going to have to reevaluate in how the man box impacts our life. 2, we have to ask the women in our life about their experiences. We have to talk to you women. I know we as men, we don't like talking to women about our problems or asking them about certain things. Like you said, Brother Dwight, you want to learn more about Oprah, so you delve in, reading books and doing other things and researching to see what she went through. Sometimes you may not be able to verbally ask somebody, a woman, about something, but if somebody that you heard about that's famous, you can read into their story and find out what went on.
I just want to echo, it's like I read about Steve Jobs.
Yes.
He went through a lot as a child.
Sure.
He grew up with his adoptive parents. And when he said what motivated him the most is because they treated him special and chosen, and told him that he was special and chosen. So the things that he went through negatively, he turned into positive because he wanted to be better. Right. So he did better. Yes. And also too, he did some college, but he seen that he already had the skills and the traits that he needed to be equipped to be an entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
But again, it goes back to his adoptive parents. They played a big impact on his life, and he took that.
That's right.
And ran with it.
That's right. And then lastly, we want to talk about speak out against violence or degrading language or behavior against women. So let's talk about the first thing. Explore the ways that the man box impacts you and your life. How about you, Brother White?
Well, I can speak about that because, again, by me growing up angry, lack of guidance, and things like that, but again, I made those decisions, so I have to accept the consequences. So I will admit that I was verbal abusive, so I would say, I would cuss people out, women, anything and stuff like that. I wasn't a very good communicator at all. So I'm just being honest with other men who watching me that if you know that you're doing these, like talking to your woman any kind of way, things like that, and I'm not perfect, I'm still dealing with issues as the day and on this day. So, but the thing is, we taking the initiative to talk about it live and to put it on social networks to let men know even strong men struggle.
That's right.
I know I play a big impact in the community. A lot of people look up to me, but I still struggle with issues that I'm dealing with. I'm still not over hurt and pain and stuff that I'm dealing with, but if I come to this meeting, it's keeping me on the bright side. It's keeping me on track and things like that, and of course praying and things like that. And I also pray to God that He takes certain things away also too. So by me coming through this program, I learned different ways and implementing those different ways of how should I talk to a woman, or how should I approach this way instead of coming like when 2 people yelling, your point not going to get across.
Absolutely.
Then when that person getting calm, you heard what I said. No, I didn't hear you because we both talking. But when you calm and you really speaking from your heart and expressing and feeling the individual
Yeah.
how you
How you
feeling
feel.
much as possible,
Sure.
you will get so much farther.
Sure.
And you won't even have to worry about further arguments and things like that. And I'm glad that I went through this course and still going through the course because truly, I'm still learning something to this day.
Yeah.
So when I do something or say something out of the way, I'll make sure that I apologize for like, hey,
Sure.
then I'll get more clarification. This is why I said what I said, but in a professional, in a well-mannered way, the way it's supposed to be done in the first place. So if you don't do it right then and there, take heed and try to fix it as quick as possible.
Brother Josh, how about you? How does the man box impact in your life? How has it impacted? Now that we have been talking about the man box the last couple of weeks, and now that you have a chance to look back retrospectively to see, how do you think it has affected your life?
I think it had a really big impact. Like Brother Dwight said, I wasn't the best communicator growing up. I'm not gonna lie. I expressed my feelings because I was hurt, and me hurting impacted the way that I treated people. See, I had a mother and father. I'm adopted, so my adopted parents they gave to me all they could.
Right.
But see, I had so much anger and hate in my heart that I didn't know what I had until it was gone. So with me, I'm just now repairing the relationship more and more and more. The relationship, when I was 18, my mother didn't want anything to do with it. But when I turned 19 and I started realizing, looking back, thinking it's like, man, I was an asshole. Excuse my language. But that's how I feel right now. Because I didn't know what I had. And the man box, like you said, you don't talk to another man. I couldn't talk to my dad about what was going on. Because he would probably understand, but he wouldn't know how to counsel me like my mother could.
Yes.
So when I got older, 19, 20, when I turned 21, my mother, on my birthday, my mother said something to me. And it stuck with me. It still hurts me to this day to even say it. She looked at me, Brother Tyrone, and said, I didn't think you lived to see 21. And you know, that hurt me really, really bad. So I changed my life, not for myself, but for her. Because I don't want my mom to bury me. I want to bury my mother. So the man box is there. You just got to learn how to open the door to the man box.
Absolutely.
And let it out.
I just want to have a quick question for y'all. You know how you said, you know, your mother said it hurt you to this day by saying that she never believed that you would see 21. Can you understand where you come from? Because based upon the way you was living and the decision you make, because that was told to me too. Because I always heard that I pray that you hope you just see 21, and that's the stereotype happening. Like when I was hanging in the street, most people that was in the gang or gang affiliate don't make it to age 21. So every day when I was out hanging out, I always thought in my mind, but I never told nobody.
Yeah.
I hope I see 21.
Right.
I promise you, like that affected me so much when I was taking in the street that made me even worse. Because every day my birthday came, I was like, well, I pray, I hope I make it 21. I coming before I turned 21, before I got locked up for something I didn't do, I never really thought that I really was gonna make it to 21.
Right.
I really didn't. So that was the longest years of my life before I turned 21, because I was always looking at the calendar. Am I gonna make it 21? Then after my birthday come, like, am I gonna make it to this end of the year? Me having that mindset as a young man affected me really, and I didn't know how to go about it. I was just hoping that I made it to the age 21, and so that's why I was asking you, can you understand where you come from a little bit, based upon how you was already living, the decision that you was already making?
Yeah, to answer your question, Brother White. Yeah, I understand now, going through what I went through, why she said that. And to this day, I'm still apologizing for things that I've done. Because if I could build a time machine and go back in time and do it all again, I would do it in a heartbeat. I love my mother. But see, like I said before, I was so full of anger and hate toward what was done to me that I didn't understand. Wow, this is my mom and dad. They really love me. They care about me. And now I can see why they did the things they did, Brother Dwight, because not only did it make me a stronger man, it made me realize my mistakes and try to correct them.
I'm glad that you said it because I actually talked to my dad and I talked to his brothers, and he said he wanted the best for me, but it goes back to my dad didn't have that father figure because his dad was killed when he was young. So he wasn't trained what it is to be a man, so he couldn't teach me. So he did it the best way he could and what he saw. So he expressed that his feelings part differently, like he would beat me and all that, and things like that. But when I came to the manhood class, I started understanding that he truly do care, but he was just going about it in the wrong way. So, and I talked to him about it. He came out, he like, yeah. He said, I really did care about you, and I really do love you and care about you. He said, I know I was going about it the wrong way, but I didn't have my father either. He came out, he said, I didn't have my father either, so I did it the best way that I thought was suitable for the situation. And while you being a man, I thought this one, as far as physically, was the right way. And he was like, I see now that it didn't. He told me that he's still dealing with that to this day. And I talked to his brother and other people, he was like, your dad really do have a good heart, but he's like, he just didn't have that father because his dad had died. And I gave him excuse me, elaboration about it, and I was like, yeah, I understand where you all come from. And I came to the understanding that he do care, but just the wrong way, the wrong method, because again, how can your dad teach you what it is to be a man if it hasn't been bestowed upon you, or you haven't been through an important, and it goes back to what we said plenty of time. It's just a generational curse of men that's what we're going through.
That's what it is. And that's what we're talking about to the audience. It's a man box. And if you have not been, and like what Brother Josh said, if you don't allow that door to be open, or you have not been taught or trained to open that door, then you will never know. You'll continue to be confined to those four walls of that mental box that you will never break free of it. Until you get around brothers that love one another and really communicate like we do, then the box can open, and then you can release some of that stuff that's in you to be more effective in your life as a man, and know things that society is doing to you is wrong, and you can start, like you said, changing your thinking and start getting around people and expressing how you feel, and you can be a better man. That's how you open up. But you won't know that unless you've been around people like that. So, powerful words. Okay, secondly, ask the women in your life about their experiences. What we mean by that, you've been out there, if you feel that you have been abusive, like you may have said, Brother Dwight, I never really have been an abusive person. I think maybe one time, I had a woman one time, I think, and it was out of anger. And I usually, like I said, I don't get to that point. But sometimes, it's not a good feeling. No, it's not. It's not a good feeling. And sometimes we may abuse women sexually if a woman don't want to have sex, or we force ourselves on them, and we may hurt them physically and not even know. And that woman will carry that around with her. And we may verbally harass her or put her down. Domestic violence in the home. You could be cursing her out, or you may get drunk. All right? You may be high on drugs and you abuse women. If those things you have done, men out there in the audience that listen to this, that you know somebody has done that, you have done this to a woman in your life, or know somebody has done this to women, you need to go back and apologize. Because that can have a lasting effect on that woman's life and the way she communicates with you, or she may withdraw from you, and you may never have that relationship like you really wanted again.
Or it also too goes back to, or your decision, how you was affected, and you implemented on that individual, it can affect the family.
Sure, absolutely.
As well, also too. That's a more, and that's a critical situation.
It is.
Because it goes back to the saying, treat others the way you want to be treated.
Yes.
And if you treat somebody, loved one a certain way, you don't know how the individual going to respond back to the situation, because you don't know what they going through.
Absolutely.
You don't know what they've been through. You don't know what they seen their parents going through. So that could affect them. Like, well, I don't want my child going through this. They might lash out.
Absolutely.
They might come search for you. You never know what type of, or this, I was just say, just be careful who you hurt.
Yeah.
Because they will come back and hunt you.
Yeah, that's true. Well, yeah. Anything on that? All right. And then lastly, we need to speak out against violence, period, as men. And we basically are the perpetrators of violence. We are. But we don't speak out against it we may say, well, why did that guy shoot that guy? Why are all these guys in jail? I know you and me and Brother Josh have these conversations together, and you as well. But we know now the reason why there's violence is because of the man box. It's the box that we put ourselves in, or society puts us in, and that's how we react. And we don't know how to get out of it, because we don't know how to open the door so we can release that stuff that's in us so we can be a better man.
I think it goes back to an old method, like a creator is not going to speak about or speak against his own creation.
That's right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
And I say that when I mean by that, man, we commit 94%
of crime.
Of all the crimes to the United States.
That's correct.
So we're not going to speak about something that we do.
That's right. That's right.
So, but by me and us coming through this type of setting and organization, come through a manhood or authentic manhood course,
Sure.
it would equip us and bring out the thing that's inside us, because we all have talent within us.
Sure.
It depends on what we do with it.
That's
It
right.
depends on
That's right.
if we go to the right setting and go to the right program, it brings that out of us.
Yes, that's right.
So now I'm more able and more bolder now of to speak out against things or violence, as far as men and things like that. It's just about me going to this program, things like that. So if more men speak against the crime
Yes.
that men are creating,
Yes.
you will start seeing a little reduction
You will.
in crime rate.
You will.
By men, majority of the men will pass it.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
We'll quit say, well, I'm minding my own business.
Yeah.
I don't have nothing to do with that.
Uh-huh.
I don't have nothing to do with me and my family, so I'm good. But again,
That's right.
it's that chain of reaction.
That's right.
If something don't affect you here, it will affect you on down the road.
That's right. Absolutely.
And again,
Absolutely.
it goes back. If it don't affect you directly, it will affect you
indirectly somehow.
indirectly.
That's right.
Or if it don't do it to your family member, it goes all back to the old thing, your environment.
The environment.
We all live
That's
in the
right.
same area. If
That's
there's
right.
crime happening here, it's gonna
That's right.
affect you.
That's
It's gonna
right.
reach you. It
That's
goes
right.
to the same
That's right.
trouble is gonna find you.
He's gonna find you. That's right. That's right. Nobody exempt. Brother Josh, anything about that?
I think Brother Dwight said everything I was thinking.
Well, that was just some powerful words tonight. We hope that you got something out of this broadcast, the Man Box. I think we may do a little bit more next week because we need to know the reason why we go through the things we do as men. It's because how society has put us in that box, that middle box, and we operate in that box. And then when we come out, society criticizes us and condemns us for the things that we're trying to do right. So we hope that you got something out of it. We ask you to tell your friends about us and what we're trying to do here at the Trauma Network here for men. We ask if you want to get in contact with us at any time, you can do that. We do have a trauma hotline. If you know a man or a youth that needs to talk about their problems, it'll be confidential. We will not talk about that. They can call us directly at 919-717-5820. That's 919-717-5820. They can reach us on the trauma hotline anytime, and we'll be willing to talk with them and try to lead them. And our main goal is this not to have an organization, the MSF organization here in Durham, North Carolina. We want this to go worldwide, because every man needs to have an outlet where he can talk about his problems and break out of that man box. That's the problem. We have to break out of that man box so we can be productive men in our societies and be created, be what God created us to be, to lead, to protect, and provide. You can also check us out on our website at www.themenofsimplifieddealers.com. That's www.themenofsimplifieddealers.com. You can check us out on our Facebook page at The Men of Simplified Dealers, along with Twitter as well. You can follow us at Men of Simplified at Men of Simplified 1. That's Men of Simplified at Men of Simplified 1. So we hope that you're enjoying everything that came to you tonight. We ask that you pass the word around. Please get in contact with us. Tell your friends. Go on our website. Leave comments. We would love to hear from you. We love you here.
It's not what happens to you.
It's about how you handle it that really matters.
Finally, the secret is out. Even strong men struggle. God bless you. We love you. And we look forward to seeing you next week on the Trauma Network for Men.